What is going on, guys? It is Lay the House RM here, and I'm sharing my daily fantasy and sports betting picks and plays for this Monday, July 29th MLB slate. I'm telling you right now, today is going to be a wild one. The trade deadline is tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of movement on players. Lineups aren't going to be coming out until likely really late before first pitch for some teams, simply because trades are being in the works during games, before games, overnight. There's going to be so much movement going on. So we really want to take advantage of this value that is out there, especially when a team puts out a weird lineup or is missing a player as well. So there's a ton of games in MLB today. Almost every single team is in action, which is actually kind of rare for a Monday. But it's nice for us because we can come up with a ton of plays and find a lot of value on the board. Before I jump into the plays for today, I do want to go take a look at the Discord server and see how we did over the weekend. So this is what the Discord server looks like. It is completely free to join. It's linked in the description below and also in the pinned comment below. Basically, I have a ton of free information in there for you guys. There's a whole section on betting education. There's a section to post all of your big wins. There's a section here where I post all my fantasy picks and all my sports betting picks. There's Underdog Challenge of the Week, where I post a challenge every single week that is free to join, and if you hit the challenge, you get some extra cash from me for free. I have a couple sections here for some other cappers who post their picks. Dommy Locks, who focuses on daily fantasy. Zach Betts, who has a traditional sports betting approach and posts regular sports betting picks every single day. And then I have all the sections for the sports. We have the Olympics, MLB going on, some WNBA, soccer, tennis. If you're in here, just join the conversation in any of the sports sections. Feel free to post any of your plays, any questions you may have. It's a full open community, and that's why it's the best sports betting Discord out there, and it's all free. So that's why it's the best place to be. We're in the big wins section right now, recapping some of our large wins over the weekend. So Zach had a nice win on soccer last night. Myself, really big win on Underdog Fantasy yesterday. $25 into $200 on their champions with 3 unders, which is always fun to see. Zach with another win on the Yankees. We had Zach more wins. Skull with a nice 4-pick play, $10 into $77.80 on Sleeper. I had another one on Sleeper, $25 into $87. Samia had a nice win. Looks like $3 into $11.70. I had another win there that was $25 into $150 on Sunday or Saturday. And then even, we had players on Friday coming up with big wins as well. Kiana with a nice win on parlay play, Samia with a nice bet. And then I think I also posted one in the MLB channel as well, which I had $10 into $57.80 on Sleeper. We even had winners in the Olympics as well. You see, I posted plays and a video yesterday with women's basketball and men's basketball plays in the Olympics. Really profitable weekend with those as well. So if you're not in Discord yet, like I said before, it's free to join, and that's honestly the best sports betting Discord there is out there. So to find the value today, we're going to head over to my favorite tool on OddsShopper.com. We're going to look at the Underdog entry builder, and I'm going to refresh this real quick, and this is going to show us the top values on the board right now. So looking at a first glance here, there's not a ton on the board, at least based on the Underdog entry builder on OddsShopper. We can go over to Daily Grind Fantasy after this and take a look at fantasy points and some of the other props as well. But right now, the top plays on the board are Luis Robert under 1.5 total bases, Miguel Amaya under 0.5 singles, and then Vinny Pasquantino under 1.5 total bases. So that's probably a play that I would make for you guys right here. You just add these 3. You see, it's pretty much even on the positive EV, so it's just okay. Not like an amazing value by any means, but it's still something. That's the best thing you're going to get on the board right now. If you want to mix in some of these other plays like the Judge or Wallner under on the bases or Gurriel, it's not as strong as a value, but it's not also a terrible play as well. So just going through the list here, Jonah Heim under on the singles, all these plays are fine. I probably wouldn't go further down than the Pavetta under 4.5 hits allowed. And even that's not a strong value, but it's okay. Underdog, it kind of depends on your timing. If you're on it at the middle of the night when the lines first come out, there's always a ton of value out there. And also right before first pitch, there's also a lot of value out there as well, simply because of what comes out in the lineups for the teams. Now, on Prizepicks, really tough to find value on there simply because of the structure of their game. If you live in the state of Florida like I do, we're not allowed to make a 5-pick flex play where you get the 0.6 back on 3 out of 5 and then double on 4 out of 5. It's a very different format for us, so there's not a lot of value in it. But if you are playing on Prizepicks, always do a 5-pick flex play. That is where the most value is for you. Top plays on the Prizepicks right now: Jack Flaherty under 5.5 strikeouts, Nico Horner under 0.5 player runs. Jeff McNeil, under 0.5 singles. Spencer Steer, under on the runs. Palante, under on the earned runs. There's actually a lot of decent plays on there, but even if I were to put them all together here, it's not going to come up as a good value. Like a 2-pick, power play, negative 11% EV. A 3-pick, negative 19%. 4-pick, negative 12. Like, it's just not a good value playing on Prizepicks right now. So if you're living in the state of Florida or in a state where you're in the Prizepicks arena section, pretty much only play on Prizepicks during Flex Friday and during Taco Tuesday, and when they give you like a free win promotion. That's really the only time you should be playing on Prizepicks if you're in the state of Florida or an arena state. Otherwise, you could always find a ton of value with esports and the other sports as well, coming up with the 5-pick flex plays that I really wish I was able to do, but I'm not allowed to anymore. Next, we'll head over to Sleeper here. Sleeper's been good to us. There's been a lot of value on Sleeper lately. Not yet today, though. There's not a lot of lines out on Sleeper just yet, and honestly, there's no value at all. If I generate the optimal slip, it's a negative 1% positive EV, so it's actually a negative EV play. Not a lot of good plays out there. You can go with the Palante under on the strikeouts, Gilbert under strikeouts, Pavetta under strikeouts, Skeen under strikeouts, and BB under on the pitching outs. But like I mentioned before, that play, it's not the best. If you want to play it, you can. Go right ahead. You'll maybe risk $10 and get $130 in return. I personally will not be playing it. I don't think I have anything I love on this sleeper right now other than this Paul Skeens under 7.5 total strikeouts. And that's a scary bet. But the value is there on sleeper for this Paul Skeens play. So best play in sleeper right now is Paul Skeens under 7.5 total strikeouts. So next, we're going to head over to the premium EV betting tools on OddsShopper, see if there's any regular sports bets for us that we could bet on. And right now, it doesn't look like there's many. Early in the morning on a Monday, there's really not a lot of value out there for us. Carson Spears under 3.5 strikeouts and Simeon Woods Richardson under 4.5 strikeouts. Those are okay values. A 2 OS rating, a 3%, and a 2.5 positive EV ranking. So they're okay bets. I probably will place them just to get some action on the board for today, but they're not like amazing by any means. But those are the top 2 bets on the board right now for Hard Rock Sportsbook. If you're only on Fliff, Colt Keith under 1.5 total bases is really the only value out there, and it's not even that strong. So I would just hold out for a bit on Fliff and just kind of wait and see what value pops up later in the day. Now, if you are on a Discord server, I have a really neat tool that links to OddsShopper. So if you go to the MLB tab and you type in /best bets or best bet, right? And you hit enter, and then you choose MLB because you want to find a baseball bet. It will show you what the number 1 bet on the board is for all the other major sports books. So for this scenario, the best bet on the board right now is the Carson Spears under 3.5 total strikeouts on FanDuel, where it's plus 124 odds. So there's a ton of value on that Spears on FanDuel, but you see here on Fliff, on Hard Rock, it's plus 115. So there's a 9-cent difference between Hard Rock and FanDuel. It's a good value on both websites, but obviously a stronger value on FanDuel. So that's why you want to stick to try to, using a bunch of different book options if you have the opportunity. Living in the state of Florida, I'm stuck with just Hard Rock and Fliff, so I just take what I can get, and we hope it wins. So next, we'll head over to Daily Grind Fantasy and see if we can find some more value on the board for MLB, for Underdog and Prizepicks. And if we head here to Daily Grind Fantasy, it's going to show us a little bit more because they actually have the fantasy scores, and they also compare when the line is different. So OddsShopper, it doesn't compare if this line is 2 compared to a 1.5. It needs to be a matching number of 1.5 and 1.5. So that's why you'll see less plays on OddsShopper, but more plays on Daily Grind Fantasy every day. So the top 2 values on the board right now are Eloy Jimenez, under 2 hits, runs, and RBIs, and Paul Skeens under on the fantasy points. That is a scary play. But scary usually means good in the sports betting world. You want to go against the grain for the most part. If you want to go with some overs, because I know you guys, not everyone likes betting unders, even though the money is in betting unders. You'll make the most money betting unders in baseball and long term, and honestly most sports as well. So Spencer Steer over on the fantasy points, Seiya Suzuki over on the fantasy points, Real Muto over fantasy points. Scrolling down here, if you want to keep going a little bit deeper, Santana over on the strikeouts. Mitchell Parker over on earned runs allowed is a solid value out there. Byron Buxton over on the hits, runs, and RBIs. Zach Wheeler under on the earned runs. So there's a lot of value on the board right now on Daily Grind Fantasy for you to make your plays on. They're not like amazing hit home run plays like these ones at the top, but there is good value to be had on baseball today simply because of all the games. If you head over to Prizepicks here, we'll just take a quick glance to see what they have for the MLB. And it looks like it's some of the same values. The Skeens on the under on the fantasy score, Suzuki over on the fantasy score. Jack Flaherty under 5.5 strikeouts, decent value, but you'd really want to do it on a 5-pick flex play. Pretty much all these plays here really won't apply to you if you're in the state of Florida. You want to find things that are even stronger value in the state of Florida, stronger than -134, just because the odds are juiced so much against us with that format. But Nico Horner under the runs, Yariel Rodriguez over on the strikeouts. You just go down the list here, and you can see a ton of plays. I generally don't like to take the combined pitching props unless they are an over. So this Jake Bloss and Paul Skeens, if you want to try to go for a middle, go with this over on the combination, and then go with the under on the Paul Skeens strikeouts on Underdog Fantasy, and hope that Skeens ends up with like 7 strikeouts and Bloss ends up with 5, and you end up winning on both your bets. So it's a nice middling strategy you can do between the websites. But that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. There's not a ton of action out there. I did make one play already. I placed this earlier in the day, and if you were in the Discord server, you probably saw it and got a notification for it. These were really good values earlier on OddsShopper. They're not as strong right now because the lines do move because we are taking advantage of discounted prices. But I'm going on Corey Seager, lower than 1.5 total bases, Vinny Pasquantino, lower than 1.5 total bases, and Luis Robert, lower than 1.5 total bases. You want to try to get as many plays in as possible that are positive EV on these websites. So whether it's 5 slips, 10 slips, 15 plus, you want to have a bunch of slips out there. So generally it's better to risk a lower dollar amount and have a higher volume when you are doing positive EV betting, because in the long run that's where you get your payouts. So don't bet too much where it breaks your bankroll if you lose 10 in a row, because that's going to happen. But there will be scenarios where you win 10, 15 in a row as well. So you just need to be able to survive the streaks. So if you like this video, remember to drop a like on this video, and also subscribe to the channel. I'm trying my best to post these every single day for you guys, for MLB, for the Olympic basketball games, for pretty much all the action we have out there. So I appreciate all your support. Best of luck on your plays today, and thank you for watching.